The night air is crisp, the kind that carries a hint of autumn even in the height of summer. I'm Ashley, and at 56, I've learned to appreciate these quiet moments, the ones where the world slows down, and it's just me and my thoughts. My life with Tom, my husband of over 30 years, has been a tapestry of shared moments, woven with threads of love, laughter, and yes, the occasional squabble over mundane things like toothpaste caps. Tonight, I'm at Sonny's Diner, where I've worked as a cleaner for years. The diner, with its checkered tablecloths and the perpetual scent of coffee, has become a second home. The neon sign flickers off, plunging the street into a soft darkness, and I'm left with the hum of the refrigerator and the gentle clink of dishes as I scrub away the day's remnants. Then a sharp knock at the service door slices through the silence. My heart jumps, not expecting any visitors at this hour. I approach cautiously, the dim light from the street lamp casting long shadows. When I open the door, two young men stand there, their faces illuminated just enough to show their friendly smiles. They introduce themselves as Jake and Mike, plumbers here to fix a problem with the pipes. Their demeanor is professional, their presence a welcome break from the solitude. I invite them in, grateful for the company on this quiet night. They set to work, and I continue my cleaning, the sound of their tools mingling with the soft background music from the diner's old jukebox. What could possibly go wrong with a bit of late-night company? The thought barely crosses my mind before Jake and Mike set to work immediately, their tools clattering as they open the hatch to the basement where the pipes run. I continue my cleaning, but the silence is now broken by their occasional banter and the sound of wrench on metal. As I wipe down the counters, I can't help but overhear snippets of their conversation, tales of college pranks, road trips, and the freedom of youth. Their laughter is infectious, and I find myself smiling, reminiscing about my own younger days. After about an hour, they emerge, wiping sweat from their brows, announcing the job's done. I offer them a cup of coffee, a small gesture of thanks, and we move to the staff room. The room is small, cozy, with a worn-out couch and a table cluttered with old magazines. We sit, and the conversation shifts from work to life. They ask about my family, my life, and I share stories of Tom, our kids, and the diner. They listen, genuinely interested, and for a moment I feel seen in a way I haven't in years. But then the conversation takes an unexpected turn. Jake, with a mischievous glint in his eye, starts talking about a recent adventure they had. It's clear from his tone and the way Mike chuckles that it's not a story for the faint of heart. He describes a night out that got a bit too wild, involving a bar, some drinks, and a game of truth or dare that led to some rather, let's say, intimate encounters. I feel my cheeks flush, not just from the heat of the coffee, but from the boldness of their tale. They're young, and the coffee cups are empty now, but the room is filled with a warmth that has nothing to do with the heater. Jake, with his easy smile, starts talking about relationships, about how fleeting moments can sometimes mean more than years. Mike nods, his hand brushing against mine as he reaches for a sugar packet. The air changes. It's charged with something unspoken. Jake leans in, his voice lowering, his eyes holding mine. "You know, Ashley, sometimes life gives you these opportunities," he says, his breath warm against my cheek. I should pull away, I know I should, but I don't. Instead, I find myself leaning closer, the boundary of my marriage blurring in the dim light. Mike's touch on my hand becomes more deliberate, and I feel a thrill, a rush of something forbidden and exhilarating. Jake's words linger in the air, a silent invitation to something I've never considered. My heart races, not just from the proximity, but from the implications of what could happen next. I'm caught in a moment where the past and future seem to dissolve, leaving only the now, the here, with these two men who've brought a spark into my otherwise routine life. I look at Jake, then at Mike, their faces a mix of anticipation and curiosity. My mind races through the years with Tom, the comfort, the familiarity, the love, but here, in this small, cozy room, there's a different kind of warmth, one that's dangerous and tempting. I take a deep breath, the scent of coffee mingling with the faint cologne of Jake, and I make a decision. I think, I start, my voice barely above a whisper, that some opportunities are best left unexplored. The tension in the room shifts. Jake's smile falters slightly, but he nods, understanding the weight of my words. Mike pulls his hand back, a respectful retreat. The moment passes, and with it, the possibility of something that could have changed everything. We talk a bit more, but the conversation has lost its edge. They finish their coffee, thank me for the hospitality, and leave. The door closes behind them, and the diner. The room feels smaller now, the space between us charged with an electric tension. Jake's hand finds its way to my knee, his touch light but insistent. My heart races, a mix of fear and excitement. I'm aware of the ring on my finger, the weight of my vows, but in this moment they seem distant, like artifacts from another life. Mike, sensing the shift, moves closer, his voice a whisper. "We don't have to tell anyone, Ashley. It's just us here." His words are like a spell, and I'm caught in it, the reality of my life outside this room fading into the background. I look at the clock. It's late, and Tom will be asleep by now, unaware of this moment. The decision hangs in the air, palpable, waiting for me to either embrace or reject it. Jake's fingers trace a slow, deliberate path up my thigh, his touch igniting a fire that I haven't felt in years. My breath catches, and I know I should stop this, but part of me, a part I thought was long dormant, wants to see where this forbidden path leads. Mike's hand now rests on my shoulder, his thumb caressing the skin there, sending shivers down my spine. His voice is soft, coaxing. "Think of it as an adventure, Ashley, a secret just for us." The room seems to close in, the walls echoing with the sound of my own heartbeat. Jake leans in, his lips brushing against my ear, his whisper sending a thrill through me. "Let's make this night unforgettable." I'm torn, the pull of temptation so strong, yet the anchor of my marriage holds me back. I glance at the door, imagining Tom's face, his trust in me. But here, with Jake's breath warm on my neck and Mike's hand now sliding down my back, the temptation feels like a siren's call, seductive and overwhelming. My mind races with the possibilities, the thrill of the unknown, the danger of discovery. I feel Jake's hand move higher, his intent clear, and Mike's touch becomes more insistent, both drawing me into a world where my vows are, in a moment that feels both eternal and fleeting. I make my choice. I lean into Jake, my lips meeting his in a kiss that's both a question and an answer. Mike's hand slides up my arm, pulling me gently towards him. The room spins, my senses overwhelmed by the scent of their cologne, the warmth of their bodies, the thrill of the unknown. We move together, a dance of desire and guilt, the diner's quiet sanctity broken by our whispers and the rustle of clothing. It's a betrayal, a moment of weakness, but in this instant, it feels like freedom, like reclaiming a part of myself I thought was lost. Jake's touch is electric, sending shivers through me as his fingers trace the outline of my face, his breath hot against my skin. Mike's presence is a steady, grounding force, his hands firm yet gentle on my waist, guiding me closer. The world outside this room with its rules and expectations fades away. Here, in this dimly lit staff room, there's only the now, the heat of our bodies, the soft murmurs of our voices. Jake's lips find mine again, more insistent this time, and I respond with a fervor I hadn't known I still possessed. Mike's touch becomes more daring, his fingers slipping under my shirt, igniting a fire I thought had long been extinguished. We're lost in the moment, the boundaries of my marriage blurred into insignificance. Jake's hand moves lower, his intentions clear, and I feel a rush of adrenaline, a mix of fear and exhilaration. Mike whispers encouragements, his voice a seductive melody, promising secrecy and adventure. The air is thick with the scent of coffee, now mingled with the musk of our desire. My heart pounds, not just from the physical closeness, but from the implications of what we're doing. The thrill of the forbidden, the danger of discovery, it all adds to the intensity of the moment. Jake's lips travel down my neck, each kiss a promise of something more, something wild and untamed. Mike's hands explore further, his touch both a question and an answer, seeking permission in the silence of our shared breath. I'm caught in the whirlwind of desire, the thrill of the forbidden and the weight of my choices. The morning light creeps through the diner's windows, casting long shadows across the floor where I now sit alone. Jake and Mike have left, their departure as quiet as their arrival. The diner looks the same, but I feel different, changed by the night's events. I gather my things, my movements mechanical, my mind racing with what I've done. The drive home is silent, the radio off, my thoughts loud. Tom is still asleep when I slip into bed beside him, his breathing steady, his face peaceful. Lying there, I feel the weight of my actions, the guilt, the confusion. I've crossed a line, one I never thought I would. The future is uncertain, filled with questions about my marriage, my integrity, and what this night means for the rest of my life. The warmth of Tom's body next to mine feels like a stark contrast to the heat of the moments I shared with Jake and Mike. Their touches, their whispers, the rush of adrenaline, it's all so vivid, yet now, in the calm of our bedroom, it feels like a dream, or perhaps a nightmare. I turn to look at Tom, his face so familiar, so trusting. The ring on my finger seems heavier, a symbol of vows I've just tarnished. My heart aches with a mix of longing for what was and fear for what might come. I know I should confess, tell him everything, but the words stick in my throat. The fear of losing him, of shattering our life together, holds me back. But the silence, the secret, it's a heavy burden to bear alone. The morning sun continues to rise, its light growing stronger, illuminating the room, and with it, the stark reality of my choices. I close my eyes, trying to shut out the images, the sensations, but they're imprinted in my mind. I wonder if this will be the secret that festers, or if I'll find the courage to speak. Will I continue to live this dual life, or will I confront the truth? The uncertainty is paralyzing. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment if you enjoyed this story. This will help us create more engaging stories for you.